Justin Bieber subtly hinted that one Hollywood star was more evil than they let on years ago, but no one caught on. Now the secret is out and the truth has been revealed. Well, it's no secret that Justin Bieber has had a rough go in the entertainment world. From being discovered at such a young age, he had to grow up with millions of eyes watching his every move. He had famous mentors that attempted to help the star navigate Hollywood's growing pains. Most were genuinely trying to help the singer out, but one mentor in particular has been the subject of a recent scandal that has been toppling empires with every new story that emerges. And now fans are worried that that mentor did more harm than good to Bieber. I am of course talking about one man, Sean Diddy Combs. Combs has been arrested for allegedly intimately harming people or being the facilitator for that to happen to people. It allegedly happened at all of his big parties and events, and sometimes he would allegedly even throw events specifically for this. As of October of last year, the number of accusations against the star was at about 120. However, many people speculate that Diddy has hurt way more people than those that have come forward, including a young Justin Bieber. Because those two actually knew each other for a long time and were pictured together often. Bieber was a fan of the rappers when they met when Bieber was too young for a license. He had wanted to meet Combs because he was a fan, but also because he had produced a track for him. Beliebers helped get Combs' attention. I mean, Justin being signed to Diddy's protege Usher also helped a little bit. Justin was invited to spend 2 days with Diddy, the start of which was documented in a short video posted to Justin's YouTube. In the video, Diddy claimed that over the next 48 hours, the pair were going to go crazy, but he couldn't say exactly what and where they would be. However, he reassured watchers that it would be a 15-year-old's dream. At the time, people were like, oh, that's so great, he's taking care of Bieber. Now, however, people are very worried about what happened over those few days. Of course, no one can be 100% sure that Bieber did experience anything inappropriate unless he decides to come forward, should it be true, but some online theorists speculate that Bieber has been making statements, we just didn't have the context needed to understand them. Just a few months ago, Bieber's Yummy music video gained traction again after people speculated that there was a hidden meaning to it, citing things like food symbolizing certain acts, an older party guest constantly sitting at his table and sharing their meals with Bieber, and then towards the end there were dancers dressed in white, which are now making people think of Diddy's infamous white parties that were allegedly the backdrop for many of his alleged crimes. The video ends with a shot of Bieber's plate. It showed a picture of Little Him with Yummy written under. At the time, this was just a cute title card, cute picture in the song title, but now people think it's Bieber's way of saying that he was served on a plate or that Little Him was considered a treat to party guests. People began to recall how desperate Bieber was at the time of the song's release to get it out there. People were originally put off by how much Bieber was pushing the track and trying to get people to view the music video, but if the theories are true, it makes more sense. Fans also referred to the behind-the-scenes footage that showed Bieber breaking down on set. The star said that he was just feeling off, but fans couldn't help but wonder if the breakdowns were actually a result of Bieber reliving past experiences. Should the rumors that this video was Diddy-coded be true, when this song first came out, people criticized the lyrics pretty heavily. It isn't exactly Shakespeare with the repeated yummy yum chorus. However, some fans today theorize that there was more going on than people realized, that the word yummy sounds like young me, and it was another way that Bieber was trying to get his message across. Of course, this theory is very polarizing. Some people think it's completely ridiculous and others are more inclined to believe after all the Diddy accusations did come out. The pair would appear in interviews later that made people very uncomfortable watching them back today. Together, they made an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2011, so that's 2 years after the 48 Hours with Diddy video. In the interview, Combs, Bieber, and Kimmel were talking about Bieber getting a car from Combs, to which Combs said Bieber had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Everything ain't for everybody. Alright, pack it up. In the year 2024, these comments are deeply concerning. At the time, no one had any reason to believe there was evil lurking behind closed doors, but today, it's worrying, especially since Diddy was completely unwilling to share some of the activities that the two were going to get up to when they hung out for those 48 hours. A 2020 interview with Apple Music showed the more vulnerable side of Bieber when he shared how protective he feels about upcoming young artists because of his personal experiences. The interview was over 40 minutes long, and the topics ranged from Bieber's music to his personal life to, of course, his experience growing up in the music industry. From the sounds of it, it was very difficult being a public figure that young, which I know, in other news, water is wet. But in the section of the interview about this, you could see the weight of everything that Bieber went through resting on his shoulders. The star openly spoke about the negative side effects of the world of entertainment. He exposed the lack of loyalty, saying, "Everyone telling me they love me and just turn your back on you in a second." This could be referring to the industry itself. Everyone wanted to be seen with teen pop sensations because being connected to the most famous boy in the world would boost anyone's career at the time. But the minute the boy wonder does something wrong, it was like he was radioactive. Although Bieber did have his fair share of controversies, not all of them ended up being true, like the spitting on fans thing, that was actually debunked. But the car totaling and saying racially charged words and jokes, that did happen, though he did apologize for the latter. Still, it would be really difficult managing the pressures of growing up when you're not actually sure who you can lean on. There was even once an instance in which one of Bieber's friends sold a story about him to the press that earned that friend an alleged $40,000. But that's only scratching the surface of what the poor man has gone through. We may never know if anything went on behind closed doors, but there was unfortunately plenty to see happening out in the open. Clips of old Bieber interviews and similar situations have started popping up online again. One TikToker helpfully compiled many of them together, and it's a tough watch. It featured clips of Bieber's boundaries being disregarded, people thinking they can touch him whenever and wherever, asking really personal, invasive questions when he and much of his audience was not of age. There was even an instance in which a woman 22 years older than Bieber jumped him on a stage. There is, of course, more out there. This is just a handful of what happened, and that's just what happened to him. Who knows what he could have seen when he was younger at Hollywood parties and hanging out with Diddy. It's an unimaginable hardship for anyone that grew up normally, but Justin is trying to break the cycle, or at least offer a steady, supportive hand to young artists. In particular, the Apple interview touched on his friendship with Billie Eilish, and that is because Eilish is actually a huge Belieber. Like, in her words, he was her first crush, and she recognized Justin at Coachella 2019 because she knows his body language, how he stands, and where he wears his pants, which is truly something only a dedicated fangirl would know. She got the chance to work with Bieber on a remix of her song Bad Guy, and it would be safe to say that Bieber probably saw a bit of himself in her. In the interview, he talked about how he feels protective over her because he doesn't want her to go through anything he went through because he doesn't wish that upon anybody. And he's not all talk. He gave Eilish his number with the promise that if she calls, he will answer. If she needs help, she can count on him. He understands growing up not knowing who he can turn to, and if he can help it, it won't happen to Eilish. Bieber was clear that he would never wish to force a friendly relationship with Eilish, but he wants to leave the opportunity open should she need it. This sentiment actually echoes a 2013 interview Justin and his manager Scooter Braun did. Scooter said that he was learning to let Justin grow and make mistakes and just be there for him through it all as a role model and a solid figure. Funny how things come full circle. And if you're wondering if Billie ever did call, the answer is yes. In June of last year, Billie shared the message that she would give a younger her, and it was, "You can and have and do call Justin Bieber at any given time. Anytime you want, you can, and he'll answer." That is 4 years after Justin's Apple Music interview, so it's clear he is a man of his word. But what do you think? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. Bye!